Today, I'm going to eat every single devil fruit in Blox fruits, and there is nothing you can do to stop me. I've got mastery on all of these fruits, so I'm also going to showcase every skill as we go. And as you can see, I've only got one kitsune. It's going to be so painful to waste that devil fruit. If you guys enjoy today's video, leave a like. Make sure you're subscribed with all notifications turned on, and comment down below because I'm going to pick one of you guys to give a permanent devil fruit of your choice. Our first devil fruit, the first of the commons, kind of works on the castle in the sea because this place got tech. And the rocket fruit is actually nothing but tech. So let's eat this guy. Not too painful in the beginning here, boys. Eating a couple of commons, that doesn't bother me at all. Let's go Missile Fist. Airstrike, my favorite move of any common devil fruit. The rocket crash. And blast off if you need to fly. Right here at the great tree is where the Kilo Fruit Admiral spawns. The Spin Fruit, I believe, replaced that fruit, so let's eat it here. Another common down the drain. Not too much pain to my inventory just yet. We got Razor Wind. Oh yeah, this all got reworked, so it looks way better now. Tornado Assault. Air Slasher, which is definitely a cool move. And a helicopter flight, which they added some particles to, which is nice. I've come all the way back to the first sea just to eat a chop fruit. Can you guess which island each fruit belongs on and where I'm gonna eat them? Let me know if you disagree with where I eat any of these fruits. The chop fruit, clearly right here where the chop fruit boss spawns. Let's eat this bad boy. There's a lot of myths that I don't understand about this fruit. It still works on swords, right? Yeah, can't take that sword damage. Then we got tackle. It was a bit delayed. Let's do it again. The tackle, the dance, party, which is like rapid punches, and then another helicopter move, which is even more disturbing than the last. The spring fruit here at the Colosseum, like in Dressrosa, where we meet the guy again, Jeremy, that's his name. Let's eat it here. We could have gone to the second sea as well, but this also works. We've got spring knock, which is like an arm punch. Spring snipe, the spring cannon. We'll just wait on you, spring emperor. Here we go, spring emperor. And then fun little fact about spring leap. If you can do it properly, it's one of the fastest movement skills in the game. A simple spring leap. That went pretty far. All the way back to the third sea to eat the bomb fruit right here by the boss that uses the old bomb fruit. Let's check this out. Targeted bomb. Boom. Bomb grab. That's cool. I like that one. Landmines is definitely interesting. If you can get enough of them near each other, it can be pretty cool. And the classic self-destruct, which looks way cooler now. And explosive jump, which I wish had a shorter cooldown so you could do more than one. The smoke fruit right here where the smoke admiral spawns. We are nearly running out of common fruits. It's about to get expensive. Smoke slam, meh. I mean, it feels good when you hit someone with it. Smoke blast, cool particle effects. Smoke liberation, this one's not bad. I've used that one a bit. And smoke bomber. This fruit needs a fifth skill, that's for sure. Every fruit should have 5 skills at this point. I couldn't think of where to eat the spike fruit, so I'm just gonna do it here at the second sea Colosseum. Comment down below. Easy chance to win the giveaway. Comment where I should have done the spike fruit. Spike summon, which you can hold down to get more spikes. Spike whirlwind is very mid. I would like to see that changed. At least to be able to move while you're doing it. Spiky ball is the big one. This one's very, very cool and you can drive it. And then spike barrage, which is the line of spike. The Marine Fortress Island for the Flame Fruit seems a little cruel because this is where Ace gets donutted, but that's fine. Let's eat it. I believe I probably have the awakened version. Yeah, blue fire bullets. Let's go. Maybe if Ace had awakened his devil fruit, he wouldn't have had so much trouble escaping. Flaming vortex. Maybe it was awakened. Who knows? We'll wait for Hell's Core. We got all day, don't we, game? Man, Prominence Burst is a sick ability. Here is Hell's Core, which is just a really... Look at that. If you really hold it in, it like fully turns into the sun. That's so cool, man. And then Rocket Flight. Let's go. Very fast when it's awakened. Very slow when it's not. We're in the desert for the next devil fruit, the Falcon Fruit. This fruit needs work. The guy who uses this fruit is awesome in the anime and manga, but in this game, this fruit is mid. Plumage to get our wings out. Wind Burst is our first actual attack. Then Bone Crusher, which is a grab ability. We'll just wait a second for Soaring Talon. Soaring Talon is a dash through ability that leaves slashes. And then, believe it or not, with wings, you can fly. It needs work, boys. It needs so much work. Here at the Ice Castle to eat our ice fruit. Because I have the awakened version, it sort of works here a little bit better than the first C. Let's go Cold Storm, which is cool. Kind of hard to see, but it's a cool attack. It has a little effect on your screen. Glacial Surge, which is just a bigger version of the unawakened one. Frozen Dragon is a better version of the Ice Bird, which is cool. It has a cool effect. I like the sound effect too. Absolute Zero is upgraded version of the regular Z skill with a big frozen area. And you're given a movement skill, which is Ice Skating, which is cool. Ice Skating is a great movement skill. Very underrated. And now for the Sand Fruit here in the desert. This is meant to be Alabasta, but it could be such a big island, and it just isn't. Alabasta is huge in the One Piece universe. All right, we got the awakened version. So Desert Blade, very cool. I love the Desert Blade. It looks good. Sand Coffin is a bit better. Let's get an NPC to attack. I don't have any stats in Blox fruits, by the way, in case you're all wondering. Sand Coffin gets scooped up and then explodes. Sandstorm is exactly how it sounds. It's a sandstorm. And then Deep Sand is like this hurled sand projectile that just causes a huge explosion. And we have Tornado Flight, which is, it's a little bit faster when it's awakened, I believe. Not bad. I remember when Sand was awakened, it was random, but very hype. You might not have guessed this one, but the Dark Fruit here at the prison. We do have a big interaction with Blackbeard in the prison. It's where Luffy finds out who he is, the one who captured Ace. The Dark Fruit is awakened, and it's very, very cool. This used to be the go-to fruit if you were learning PvP. Dimensional Slash teleports you if you hit. Abyssal Darkness is a grab, which is very nice. It darkens the screen. Endless Hole is exactly what you would think it would be. That's what the gravity needed for so long. It has it now, but the gravity needed its own version of Endless Hole. And now, World of Darkness, which is an upgraded version of the Dark Ball that you get in the unawakened version. And then Ghastly Step is just a quick little movement skill that leaves a little projection of you behind. We've got a couple to do here at Marine Fortress now. The first one being the Diamond Fruit. I believe his name is Jozu or something like that. The Diamond Fruit is kind of like, it would be insane as a power. You're made of diamonds. That's sick. He's pretty underrated considering he didn't get a lot of screen time. So our first skill encrusts us. Then we have Beam Tackle, which leaves a huge bang if you hit something. Diamond Hail, kind of the only good skill in the set. And if you're close to someone, you can actually blind them with Solar Flare. And now, same island, but on the other side of the conflict, the Light Fruit. Used by my favorite admiral of the lot. The Light Fruit is awesome. It was the fruit I used to level up. This is the awakened version. We have Divine Arrow that you can hold to shoot up to 3 arrows, which is cool. Hand of the Emperor is a beam that has like this minuscule little stun to it if it hits. Lightspeed Destroyer is an attacking skill that tosses them around. Very, very cool. Wrath of God is your big light-based AoE. And then Shining Flight, which if you are awakened, you can control. Such a cool devil fruit. Easily one of the best. Next up is the Rubber Fruit. Future mythic devil fruit right here on the Pirate Starter where Luffy begins his journey. All right, we have Rubber Cannon, which is like just a double arm towards a punch, but it's Luffy's cannon. It's Rubber Cannon, right? We have Rubber Smash, which is like an... Oh, you didn't really get to see that. It's like an axe. His leg goes up and then comes down. We'll do that again. A little bit of animation lag the first time you use it. There we go. And then Rush is your speed punches. This is Gomu Gatling. Very cool. And then we have regular Slingshot, which you can use to grab onto something and launch off. That's so satisfying, but the skill needs to be reworked a little bit. It doesn't interact with the world very well. And then Transformation, which is Gear Second. Now everything becomes a bit more instant. So Cannon is boom, just faster. Smash is a teleport where you kick downwards. See that? That was pretty impressive. And then Rush is the same, but it's so fast that you can't see their arms anymore. And I think if you charge all the way up, you get a buff on your slingshot in this form. There we go. Next up at the Colosseum is the barrier fruit. Let's eat this. This fruit needs so much love. The user of the barrier fruit is very cool. It's also very cool in the anime and manga. In the game, it's mid. Barrier wall, which is kind of okay for grinding. You can go up to it and you can hit mobs through it and they can't hit you. Surprise attack doesn't make any sense to me, but it's some sort of barrier movement. The barrier is on your hand. Barrier prison will grab the enemy and you can throw them around with your mouse and then it shoots them into the ground. Barrier towers makes a lot of sense. This is your strongest move. It puts down a whole row of barriers, which is neat. And then stairs, which is fine unless you walk straight, in which case you're faster than the stairs can spawn. It would be cooler to have a barrier prison that goes around you like this and then you flew around in the barrier. That would be way cooler. Here on the haunted ship to eat ourselves the ghost devil fruit. This is a great example of how things like barrier could just be removed from the game and replaced with a cooler concept. Let's eat the ghost fruit. All right, next time we die, we'll be revived at 50% health, which is cool. That's a passive that the ghost fruit gets. Shivering possession is a dash skill that will freeze them if you hit. Spectral release is a big AoE, kind of good for grinding. Cries of the Underworld has a terrifying sound effect and is a blast like cone attack in front of you. Very good. Ghostbusters will summon 2 other ghosts and turn you into a ghost. And these guys, they duplicate what it is that you attack with. So they can use your sword. I don't think they can't use your gun, but they can also do spectral release or cries of the underworld. They also, I think, yeah, they do shivering possession. And if I fly, like with Wandering Soul, they come with me. Oh, they disappeared. Let's do it again. It's worth it. It feels like you're like Autobots roll out and they fly with you. Look at them. Little troopers. That's so cool. Back at Marine Fortress for the Magma Fruit. The most devastating thing ever happens here by this man. But his fruit's kind of cool, especially when it's awakened. It's worth pointing out that it can walk on water, which is super cool. I love that about it. Magma Shower has a great effect because it leaves magma behind that continues ticking damage as the NPCs walk through it. Volcanic Assault is a grab damaging move that pushes them back. Great Magma Hound is just another big shot that hits. I also believe that one knocks you out of observation if it hits you. Volcanic Storm is your big move. It's just a bigger, badder version of your first move. And then Beast Ride is you riding magma. And when you get off it, it hits the ground and explodes. And at exactly the same place, we consume the Buddha fruit. We first got to see Sengoku in action here. Very cool. We have awakened Buddha, so we can shift into our big form, which allows us to walk in water. Heavenly Impact is a punched explosion on the ground. Light of Annihilation is your beam attack that's like for shooting stuff at a distance. Boom, you can see. Twilight of the Gods is the loudest thing in this game, and it's the worst, but it's a huge explosion. And then Retribution Dash is just a little movement skill. We've also finally moved on to the legendary Devil Fruit. That Buddha Fruit was incredibly expensive for me to just waste like that. Back here at Hydra Town, we're going to eat the Love Fruit. Boa's Fruit, and honestly, this Love Fruit has probably received the best rework so far in the entire game. It went from being absolutely garbage to an incredible fruit. So, Heart Shot shoots a Love Heart forward that explodes. Very nice. Cupid's Zone. This is the longest ranged attack in the game. As you can see, it's going to drop down an area that does AoE damage. Probably shouldn't have shot that so far away. Let's just hit that one more time right here. You can see it does AoE damage. Very nice. Irresistible Attraction is it gets larger as you hold it in, and when you let go, it drags enemies towards you, which is very cool. And Best of Friendo, the greatest thing that a YouTuber can use in their video. Boom, it summons a random person from your friends list to hold the Cavendish sword and help you fight. I didn't realize I had a friend that is just like a white Lego man, but okay. And then Flamingo Ride, which is an infinite flight flamingo that can pick up your friends.
I'm your Uber driver. Get in.
Here in the lair of the spider fruit user, well, he actually uses the string fruit, but we're going to eat the spider fruit here where Flamingo hangs out. Boom. And I don't think much about this fruit changed. Rather, like, they added Spider Highway and now it's called the spider fruit. But this is awakened, by the way. Thermal lacerations is a cone attack in front of you or a straight attack in front of you. Silk prison is kind of like your big AoE, and the longer you hold it in, the larger it is. That's a handy one. I like it. Eternal white, you can control with your mouse, but you're stuck in position when you do it, so it leaves you a little vulnerable. And then heavenly punishment, which is the one that is now, its color is determined by your Hucky. So I have rainbow Hucky, so as I use heavenly punishment, its color will slowly change as my Hucky color changes, which is sick. I like that. That was nice. And then spider highway, which is literally just you're Spider-Man. But you have to be up high enough because the cooldown is it's not quite there yet. But if you're high enough, you'll catch yourself before you hit the ground. Just done work in here. All right, I wasn't sure where to eat the sound fruit, but catch my logic here, right, boys? We're at the cafe. People in cafes listen to music. Yeah? Sound fruit. Let's go. Another expensive one to eat, considering it's only a legendary. All right, here we go. Let's go outside so we can get a good look at this one. Rhapsody Notes is you can tap it up to 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. And you basically throw out like sound grenades is a great way to describe it. Fortissimo is a loud trumpet cone attack. Symphonic Radiance is boom. There's a disco ball, which randomly hits things in the area. It's very nice. Glorious Harmony is a large sound bomb that can be thrown. Boom. And Tempo Prestissimo is your this is your movement skill, where you surf on notes, musical notes. And once my tempo meter reaches full, I get a golden shield. And now everything has become golden, which increases damage and just like all of its buffed outputs. Let's get a bit more tempo meter for our last Glorious Harmony in gold. Boom. Big golden notes and explosions. It's so cool, dude. I love this fruit. I used it so much when it came out. I say that, but I'm only 270 mastery, like some kind of noob. We're back here at Marine Fortress. A lot of cool characters get introduced here. Marco is the guardian angel of the Straw Hats at this point. When we first meet him here at Marine Fortress, I have the awakened Phoenix Fruit right here, which we can use. Cremation Cannon is a very cool big blue explosion. Very nice. Blue Flames. This is your AoE healing ability. You can hold it for as long as you want, but it's using your energy up, so eventually you'll run out. Anyone inside this will get healed a little bit. And also, let me just double check. Does it hurt people? It does. It hurts enemies. It pushes them away, which is kind of handy, actually. Did that for too long. Now I don't have any energy. Flame Exodus is up next, which is a grab high up in the air and then slam them into the ground. Very sick. Very sick. Before we got awakened Doe, that was one of the coolest moves in the game. Swift Flight is a tap skill. So I tapped F and now I can just fly around. Can still use my abilities while in this form too, which is very cool. And then finally, Blazing Plumage is it's our full transformation, but we need to get our energy back. Boom. There we go. And now the full Phoenix transformation. Really cool. Cremation Cannon gets tripled. So now there's 3 of them to explode. The blue flames become enormous is the correct word, I hope. And it still pushes things back. Flame Exodus, I believe, is the same, but it's just now you're in full form and it's bigger and does more damage. And Swift Flight, it speeds up your movement, which is actually kind of really awesome. I'm going to hit something with it just to see what happens. Swift Fly does do damage. I can grab them and I hit them. And then also, when you're in this full form, you can click with your mouse button to also do a spinny attack that does damage. Yeah, next up is the Portal Fruit, which is now unique to Blox fruits. I'm going to eat it just so I can move on to the next area. But Portal Dash is a grab ability that slams things into the ground. Parallel Escape will do a little bit of damage when you go into the next dimension and a little bit of damage when you come out. World Warp is the last thing we'll be using. Quantum Leap is a little door teleport, which is very nice, which you can go back through and confuse NPCs with. And then Dimensional Rift takes you into another dimension. It traps enemies in here and you can fight them in here. Or if you're actually smart, you usually bring them in here, maybe do a little bit of damage. What you're actually doing is you suck them back out because they pretty much land right where the portal was. So you know exactly where they're going to be and you can aim in that spot when they appear. And then World Warp lets us go anywhere, like the upper sky for our next devil fruit. And now, boys, Someone who I genuinely believe could show back up and be super powerful is Enel. If he comes back, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's eat the Rumble Devil Fruit. I have the awakened version. It's very cool. I seem to find so many of these lately as well. So our first skill is Lightning Beast. I'm going to use it to hit that bell. Boom. It shoots a lightning beast. You know what I mean? And then a thunderstorm. Believe it or not, it doesn't summon a thunderstorm. It actually summons a lightning storm because that's lightning. The sound of thunder was there, but there was also lightning. Sky Judgment is a single overpowered lightning beam that rains down, killing things. Thunderball Destruction is Enel's ultimate move from in the anime, which you can throw at people. It's huge, man. You don't realize how big that is until you use it yourself. And then we have Electric Flash, which we have up to 3 of, which just allows us to bolt forward with electricity. All right, let's be totally honest with ourselves here. I'm not sure if this place in the third sea is, it feels like it's Gecko Moria's place, but it also kind of feels like it's Mihawk's place. And since we have an epic moment with Kuma here, Kuma and Zoro, the nothing happened moment, we're gonna eat the pain fruit here. Because even though it's called the pain fruit, it's still the poor fruit. Let's go see some skeletons and hit one of them with some heavy pain, which leaves a little, like, debuff on them right there. You can see the paw stays on them. Now we have Pain... Oh, hello. Pain Barrage, which is a similar thing, except there's multiple. Pain Nuke, where you, like, cause this huge explosion. It explodes where you, like, land it, but he happened to hit me. And then Torture, which is a dot. It's a red one, and it does damage over time, as you can see. And then finally, your movement skill, which is Self-Repel, which just uses a paw to shoot you forward. Honestly, I know it became the Pain Fruit, but it still needs work. All right, we first meet the Snow Fruit user here at Hot and Cold. That's kind of what the Blizzard Fruit is based off, right? This is our last legendary. Things are already expensive, boys. Please, please, please. 1 like equals 1 prayer that my inventory will recover from this. Snowflake Shuriken, man. This is a cool ability. You hold it down to charge up the most number of shurikens that you can get. Next up, we have Whiteout, which is like it follows your mouse, and it's just kind of like a snowy tornado. Then Howling Wind is the one that spawns just around you. Another big AoE, though. And then Blizzard Domain, which has to be one of the biggest attacks in this entire game. Another massive AoE. This is like it's meant to be a grinding fruit, right? It's pretty crazy. And then the Flight ability as well also does damage as you move around. When this first came out, this was like the best way to grind, but they nerfed it a little. And now the mythical Devil Fruit. Here on Dressrosa, we really get to see the Gravity Captain, an Admiral, in his element. So here we are. We got Gravity Push, which is obviously it's a knockback. A gravity-based knockback. The very cool gravity move that's similar to Awakened Dark that I was saying we had always needed, and I'm so glad we got. Such a cool thing. It's a big AoE, and it freezes anyone inside it and pushes them down with gravity. Meteor, which is just a single meteorite you can summon to explode over there. They could be cooler. The meteorites could be way cooler. And then Meteor's Rain, which is the same thing, but they land where your mouse is. Again, it's cool, but you get stuck while you're using it. Like, you've got to aim it, so you have to stand still. And it's kind of mid. And then Boulder Flight, which used to be cooler because it's a tiny boulder now, where before it used to be a big boulder. And when you let go of it, it used to do damage, and now it doesn't. All right, the Dinosaur Island hasn't been added, or the Dinosaur Sea event hasn't been added yet. I don't really know where to do this one. Where is X Drake big in the show? I guess he could have been at Marineford a little bit, but he kind of shines in Wano, which Wano is the 4th sea. It hasn't been added to the game yet. So we're going to eat the T-Rex here. That was expensive. All right, let's go with, first off, our Tail Swipe. Nice. A big, large attack. Predatory Screech is the next one, which drags them in. It kind of stuns them during this too, because they can't really get out of it. And then you shoot them backwards. Hunter's Rage is a dash attack that pulls them with you. I need Max Fury for the next one. So we're going to use Gigantic Leap, which is just, it's a jump that does damage, believe it or not. And we also have the Click, which is the mouse button, which allows us to build up our Fury and do a bit of damage. This one's really good. This one has a little bit better accuracy than the Kitsune. I find the T-Rex is probably one of my favorite fruits now. All right, here we go. Let's use Reptilian Scales, which is going to cause meteorites to come down and do a bit of damage. You can already see the Hunter's debuff from that. But first, let's go with the big new Tail Swipe, which is a lot harder to dodge. You can see our dash is also different now. Predatory Screech is the same, but bigger and better, and it applies the debuff. Hunter's Rage is the same, but you grab them, swing them around, and then slam them down, which is cool as. And then your Gigantic Leap is just bigger and badder. It's so cool. And your mouse button is the same, but you have a roar at the end, which is a good AoE. And you can see the T-Rex head appearing on them, which will do more damage to them the further they are away from me. This is to discourage people from running in PvP. And that's it for the T-Rex. Very cool fruit. Dude, I so approve of the design of this fruit. Like, everything about it I think is just a good idea. The last mammoth fruit in my inventory feels bad, man, but we're gonna eat this one here. This is the Mink Island that, unfortunately, they get owned by Jack when he attacks them. So we're gonna eat the mammoth fruit right here. Let's start off with our non-transformed stuff. So Ancient Cutter is 3 big slashes. Very poggers. True Prehistoric Punt is a dash forward where you hit them up into the air if you manage to grab them. Colossal Crusher is kind of the opposite of that. You grab them and then slam them into the ground, both of which end up shooting them up into the air. So I don't know. Stampede, when you are not transformed, is just a large jump. You can hold it in to get an even bigger jump, but it's a jump that does damage when you land. It's very cool. It's very like, hey everyone, I'm right here. Look how enormous I am. And then our transformation. Now that we've transformed, we can click the mouse button to do a series of mouse button attacks. Ancient Cutter is even bigger now, which is very cool. True Prehistoric Punt, exactly the same but bigger. Colossal Crusher, exactly the same but bigger. And now Stampede actually works like a stampede. And if you catch something in this and then pin it up against like a wall, you do so much damage very quickly. But unfortunately, they can still hit you. So it's not like it's not super cheap, but it is good. Here at Cakeland, right by the portal, let's eat Katakuri's fruit. One of the coolest characters in the entire show, and one of the coolest fruits in the show, because it introduces us to special Paramecia types, where if I have my Logia... Oh, wait, this is Awaken. Basically, it functions as a Logia once your brain can treat it like a Logia. Oh, except these guys have Haki. I'm an idiot. But yeah, it's a Logia fruit. Let's go with Missile Jab. You get a big dough, and then boom. This is one of the most hyped things ever added to the game. I remember the leaks. And then next we have Pastry River, which functions as a grab and a slam. Or if you're in the air, it functions as a grab and then it tosses them around and punches them into the ground. This is really good to shoot people down into the water if you're PvPing. Let's get these guys all involved for the next 2. All right, this gun is slow as. There we go. That's what we needed. We need the lightning effect. Yeah, let's do it, boys. Okay, now for Piercing Clothesline, it's a grab that grabs everything while you spin and then slams them into the ground. Conqueror's Haki goes flying. It's insane. And then Dough Fist Facade, I'm going to put my Haki on for this, is a large punching assault that comes out of everywhere. It's one of the coolest things designed in the game. Actually, this is just one of the best designed fruits in the game. It looked good. And then Scorching Donut is you can push things around, but one of the big things about this is it can go on water. It goes on water, and also when you're in the right position, it can go up walls because it's spiky. Back at the Haunted Castle for the Shadow Fruit. Never thought that this one would be all that cool in the game because Gecko Warrior's fruit is cool, but it doesn't really translate to a video game. The Shadow Fruit does an incredible job of that. You have an Umbra meter, which is similar to a Rage meter. You get a shadow form around you, which is cool as. Let's start with Somber Rebellion, a great movement skill, but also a multi-hit skill that shoots you up into the air. Shade's Nest, no matter where it hits, it releases bats that will always hit your enemy, which is cool. It kind of like heat seeks them. Nightmare Leech will heal you while damaging them if you hit. It's like a grab skill. And before we use Corvus Torment, let's use Umbrage, which is the movement skill, but also it releases bats that will hit the enemy. So this is a great way to do bonus damage. See, that's done over 1,500 damage, and I have 0 stats in fruit. And then Corvus Torment is Big Thing Go Boom, which releases bats that will constantly hit the enemy. When you're in here, use your Shade's Nest as well, and then also your Umbrage to fly around, and you just stack heaps of bat damage. It's very cool. All the way back to the first seed to eat the Venom Fruit here at the prison, because the prison warden uses the Venom Fruit. That's what it is. It is. All right, Poison Daggers, which shoots multiple shots and leaves a poison behind that does damage to anyone standing inside it. Noxious Shot is the same thing, but it's one big shot that leaves even more poison behind. Toxic Fog is a player-centered AoE. You've got to run around, and anything that you're near will take damage. Serpent's Wrath is your flight skill, which you can see. It goes like this, and then when you release it, you actually do a bit of damage with that poison explosion. explosion right there, but you have to hit something. If I wrath over to this guy and let go, you can see it did damage. And then finally, our fury meter is now full. So let's transform into the toxic hydra, the venom hydra, which means our daggers are bigger now and our poison is a slightly lighter color and it's everywhere. Noxious shot is exactly the same. It's bigger, badder, and oh, that's so much poison. Look, it's doing good damage too. Toxic fog is absolutely huge now and murders everything inside of it. And if you happen to fly around, you now get some extra toxic heads that when you untransform, they'll shoot off and hit your enemies around you, which is also very cool. Venom is strong. I have no idea how to use it. I know there are people who PvP well with it. I just don't know how. I believe eating the control fruit here in what is meant to be Dressrosa is good since, you know, Law and Flamingo have like a thing. Let's eat it right here. This fruit it's so like, it's very cool, but it's really plain considering that it's, you know, like a really good mythic fruit. Our large control area, Law is also a fan favorite. So once we're inside the control area, we can levitate different things like this and throw them away. And whoa, I threw that ages away and he go boom, which is nice. Also, I learned this little trick, but now if I stand here, it won't respawn until I leave, which is kind of cool. But I have to do other things, so I guess I have to leave. We're going to need some enemies for this next bit, but let's see if maybe, because there's nothing you can do outside your control area, so it seems ridiculous. But hopefully when they add the awakening, that won't be true. We can teleport down over there, which is nice, but we're outside the control area now. And it takes too long to put the room up. Here we go. Now I can use Echo Knife, which allows me to dash around them, cutting them to pieces, and then boom, they get launched into the air. And finally, Gamma Rush is a huge AoE slashing attack it's going to hit everything in the area, as you can see. I'm hitting all of them right now, and they all get hurt. Levitate's also not that bad because you can kind of like spam it, but it's still not the best fruit to use. You can only Echo Knife one guy at a time, so you've only got 2 AoE moves. It desperately needs work. Let's pick up this whole building, though, and throw it over there, because we can. And that's what makes it fun. While Big Mom's castle is definitely over there, I thought I'd come to Chocolate Land for the Spirit Fruit, just because we haven't used this island for anything, and it's all a part of her domain. Let's eat the Spirit Fruits. These are so expensive. So expensive to be wasting. So, as our bar fills up, we're going to gain Spirit Charges, which we can spend on the blue side to get spirits that help us, like heal us or speed us up. Or when it's on the red side, we can get spirits that will help us in combat, like so. This frog will drag people around, which is kind of awesome. Another frog, of course. Always get the same ones whenever I'm showing it off on video. Of course! Okay, next up is Frostfire Grasp, which grabs them and hits them in some ice and then shoots them off. Another frog, are you kidding? Wrath of Ra does burn damage after throwing a little sun at them. You can see they're taking tick damage. Wrath of Shu is your ice-based stun. Even though it missed, it would freeze them if it hit, which would stun them. There we go. There's the tree that will also stun them given the opportunity. That guy does dot damage because he's a poisonous mushroom. Let's do Shu. All right, they're frozen. And now we have End of Times, which every video game needs a great beam attack that explodes. And that is the one. That's your big beam attack. And finally, you can land on both of the spirits to fly around. I think it depends which side the bar is on when you click it. So it's on blue now. Oh no, maybe it's random. I don't know. You can definitely ride both of them. Oh, I have never done that before, but you can summon spirits sideways on buildings. That's kind of awesome. I kind of want to get a tree. There we go. Sideways tree. Nice. Very, very cool. All right, we're on this hill in the middle of nowhere because as you all know, the dragon fruit is a bit dangerous. So we're going to eat this one out here, and because they haven't added Wano yet, it doesn't really make sense to eat it anywhere else. So your dragon has the fury meter, which will go up on its own. This is about to be reworked, so it doesn't really matter. But here's your heat wave beam. It go boom. Or head down here to use the draconic lore on some enemies. Hello? Here we go. This will drag your enemy, light them on fire, and cause a little explosion. Fire shower is sort of your best grinding one because it can hit multiple enemies and just sort of shoots everywhere, which is very cool. Next, we have flight, which is just with regular dragon wings. We can head off in this direction. And now we just wait for the fury meter to fill up. Here we go. Transform into a giant green lizard. His color can change. The first sea and the second sea, maybe the second sea, but the first sea and the third sea definitely have rings that you can change the color with. So heat wave beam is the same, but it's just, I think it's a bit bigger. Dragonic claw changes into a large AoE sort of burning attack, which is very cool. Dragon fire shower definitely was the coolest move in the game for a very long time, but it looks very outdated now. And well, you don't need dragon flight anymore because you're already flying, and there's no mouse button. I expect all of these moves will change with the rework. The next two devil fruit don't really have a place much. You know, there isn't really an impel down for the leopard fruit, and we don't have egghead yet. So I'm going to do them both here where you can get like a really good view of their abilities because we have this like area here that's designed to show off abilities. So let's eat the leopard fruit first. Here we go. So there's no fury or anything. You can transform whenever you want. But first of all, finger revolver, which you hold down to do damage, and there's one large explosion damage. Spiral kick, which anything it hits, that will shoot them up into the air while also doing damage. After image assault will grab and move everything forward, causing it to get slammed and usually bounce up into the air. And then body flicker, it's a movement skill, but it will also kick anything that it encounters. And we have our mouse button, and then we transform into a leopard, which gives us a couple of swings and a roar attack, which is nice. Finger revolver, which is exactly the same but a little bit faster. Spiral kick is the same but faster. After image assault is it gives you this burning thing afterwards, which makes you move even faster in the game, which is very, very cool. And body flicker again is the same, but I think it goes a little bit further. And now back to Hydra Island, because I've decided I want to attack some things. My last and only kitsune. Let's eat it. I feel very poor again. The dragon fruit was painful. The kitsune was painful. Those two are big fruits to just waste like this. And here we go. So with the kitsune, I have one tail to start off with. And that's sort of just like my tails will go up a little bit on their own, but as I do damage, they'll also go up. So a cursed enchantment allows me to throw fire on the ground, which does a bit of damage and builds up our tail bar. Tails of Agony is a grab that will like throw them and then slam them into the ground. It's very, very cool. It's a little bit confusing to follow though. Firefox Disruption is a big explodey attack, probably based off a Naruto ability, if I'm being honest with you, the tail beast bomb. And then Wild Assault is you dash forward and slash them up a bunch. All very cool, but way more exciting once you transform. So we're going to use our mouse button click, which we also have access to help build up our tails really quickly. Now that we have two tails, our jumps have changed. We backflip when we jump, and we twist, or we do the barrel roll when we dash, which is cool. Let's get our claws on these again, which will build up our tails until they go rainbow. There we go. Now we can transform, and we are a kitsune. And if you actually have friends, they can ride your back, but that's kind of weird. This is a PvP game. A cursed enchantment now will either be an AoE of the little flames exploding, or if you manage to hit, it functions as a grab, which throws them out and then hits them with the Foxfire Disruption bombs, which is a very cool combination. Burning Tails of Agony, now when you hit with it, will actually, this one's cool. You leap up in the air, you slam them down, and then these big tails come up, which I assume also do flame damage if the enemy ends up inside them. Then we have Foxfire Disruptor, which is exactly the same. Big bomb go boom. And Wild Assault is pretty much the same, except it's like the graphics are a bit different, which is very cool. You still have your mouse button click as well, but with the kitsune, it's a little bit harder to aim when you're transformed. It does something funny to hitboxes. It's not too bad against these because they're smaller than me, but if your enemy is bigger than you, it can be a little bit difficult to hit them. And that's it, boys. We have eaten every devil fruit in the game except for one. Did you notice? Did you notice that I didn't eat one of the most forgettable fruits in this game, but it is also one of my favorite fruits? Did you notice which one I didn't eat? Let me know in the comment section down below.